Welcome everybody to the CrossFire podcast. We had just a hell of a pregame discussion about the pros, the cons, mainly pros of Sea of Thieves, and everything else in between, guys. There's a lot to talk about tonight. We've had some game releases as of today, footage of certain games come out this week. But without that, we got a lot of meat and potatoes to get to. But let's go through our usual suspects to begin. The one, the only, Senor Crap Gamer. Crap, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy to be back here. Got some cool stuff to talk about. Looking forward to diving into these topics. Looks like a lot of fun tonight. A lot of interesting things going on, and hopefully some of the new people that you guys haven't got to see before get a chance to kind of bring some new flavor to the panel.
Exactly, Crap. Totally with you on that. We got an interesting panel here. Good mix of folks, too, from the YouTube community. And then I'll go down to Senora Bombastic. He buys everything. We'll find that out tonight. Boom. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I mean, listen, all I know is that, yes, it has been a little slow with news, but there is so much opinions online about Sea of Thieves. I cannot wait to dig into it.
Nice, buddy. No, I'm actually really interested. We have an amazing this panel put together right now, and I got to be honest with you. Some things just come together last minute, and this is a panel that has such great opinions on the game. And I think you're not just going to get a I like it or I don't. I think you're actually going to get some actual meat and potatoes behind it. He pops in late. He also throws calzones in microwaves, apparently. Clowns, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
We also hear from Phil Spencer today. Actually responded to you, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was pretty shocked. But I gotta say, man, I'm loving Sea of Thieves, guys. I know that people are complaining that, hey, there's no content, blah blah blah, but they're not giving it a chance, man. You got to go around.
This sounds like the 180 degree clowns, right? 180. Because Clowns was not saying this a week ago, folks. This is 180 degree clowns tonight.
No, he was pretty depressing.
Yes, he was really depressing about it up until about Tuesday. Nice, Clowns. I'm hopefully you'll expand on that, because I think a lot of people in the audience that follow CrossFire would like to see where you kind of made that turnaround in your opinion. So we'll get to that in a few seconds. I got a couple of really, really great guests on tonight, folks. This means a lot. Good to have these guys with us. Let me start with Attack the Glitcher. Glitcher, welcome to the show, buddy. Good to have you here once for all. We've tried to get this thing together so many times, and sometimes it just doesn't work out because of schedule, but finally you're here. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I finally made it to CrossFire. Yeah, it's been a long road to try and get here, but I am happy to be here tonight with you fine gents and dive on in these conversations. So I'm going to keep my intro short. Let's go.
All right, Glitch, listen, we'll also be doing a sidebar settlement with you to try and get your show back on, because that was a very sad end to the Glitcher show, which we'd like to see come back. But we won't harp on it. We'll just do subliminal moves all through the show.
Okay?
One of your other people that have followed you on that show, he's been on here multiple times. Very good friend of mine. Noof, welcome to the show.
Kaboom! It's Snoof Nukem in the room on a Friday night. It is CrossFire. People, please adjust your maxi pads, because this shit might get bloody before it's all said and done. It's going to be a good one.
That's great.
And straight to the no chills.
Straight to the no chills. And last but certainly not least, a guy who's really, really kind of come up fast on YouTube, and he's coming up quicker on Twitter. Got the best hashtag we know with Stay Salty, my friends. Salty, welcome back to CrossFire, buddy. Good to have you here.
Hey, Mooch, thanks for having me on. I am excited to get this Sea of Thieves talk. I did my review, and yeah, the game is surprisingly addicting for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about some of the pros and some of the cons, but man, the game is fun. So let's get into it, man.
Well, you know what? Let me do that, because I do want to kind of go between you and Crap to start, because I thought both of your guys' reviews were very good. Salty, I caught yours this morning. Now, first of all, let's just get the comic relief out of it. Salty had an 18-minute review. Was that 18 minutes?
Yeah, man. When I was doing the review, I kept, you keep piecing together. You cut some dialogue, you record some audio,
right?
And I kept doing it, and I'm like, man, this is starting to get long. And then I looked at it at the end; it's 18 minutes long. I don't normally go that long in my videos, but I had a lot to say, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a review or an actual documentary on Rare. I wasn't sure when I saw that. Rare. But no, Salty, get into it a little bit. Talk about maybe your experiences, and I'm going to go down the panel. I want everyone to be able to chime in on this. And chime in if anyone on the panel does want to kind of discuss Salty's points. What did you kind of do, Salty? Because I think you also did something where you said you kind of went into it maybe where the glass was half empty, and by the time you finished, even though you found a couple complications, you still kind of gave it a very positive review.
Yeah. See, I was invited to do the technical alpha, and then I did that and played multiple sessions, and then played the beta, and then played the actual game. And sometimes we hear some, rumors and speculation as to what we should see in the game. There's some rumors out there that we were getting about 20% of the content in the beta. We didn't know specifically what that was referring to. So you know how gamers go. They create these expectations. And a lot of the time, these games can never meet those expectations because it's stuff that we set. It's kind of like with movies or games or whatever. So I was expecting more content to be in the game itself, but that wasn't necessarily what happened. There was more cosmetic items, a lot more items there. It was interesting. The create screen for the characters was interesting. I wish I could make my own character, because you're trying to do pirate legend, and the fact that you can't just go in there and make your face and make your pirate, and then maybe create a voice was one of the negatives. But in general, getting in this game with my friends, some of the things were repetitive, but I keep going back to the game. It's fun. Digging up treasure always brings that excitement. You find the X, and then you stick the shovel in the ground, and boom, you hit the treasure chest, and it's exciting for me.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go to crap. My thing about that, a lot of people kind of gave a negative connotation to the fact that you couldn't make your own character. Myself personally, this is a me thing. I totally think that I'm in the minority here. I didn't mind that they didn't give us that opportunity, because let me give you an example. Anybody who's played Monster Hunter World or any of these other games where they give you this creative, like unbelievable amount of detail you can make in your character, it's cool. I get it. It is cool. But I want to get into the game, and there was nothing cooler than the fact that I just picked out a silhouette that I liked. You're going to let's be honest with Sea of Thieves, right? And most of it is decorating your character up. Hat, beard, hairdo, eye patch. It's going to be other stuff that's all going to be added too. This is a game that's not stopped. It's going to be a nonstop evolving game. Pretty soon you're not even going to see your character. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, he's just going to be, he's pretty much just going to be, he could be Jason Voorhees by the middle of this thing in 6 months. Nobody knows. So, I mean, my whole point is that, like, he'll be decorated in a certain way. So I didn't think that was bad, but you're right. Since they were trying to say, make your own pirate legend, make your own pirate adventure, you would think that when you started, you were going to create this pirate. Now, Crap, what did you think about something like that as an intro when you picked it up?
You know what? I thought it was, well, no, I thought it was cool. At first I thought you only get the pick from like the 7 or whatever the hell it was on the wheel, but every time you hit the right bumper, you could, it would refresh it and bring in like a new round of created characters. So I thought that was cool. Yeah. I always just go with like kind of a bigger guy, and then slap a beard on them and kind of go from there. Your
guy's cool though, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I found one that really kind of suited me, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna pick this guy, and I went into the game. And I largely knew what to expect because I was in the alpha. I probably put 65, 75 hours in between the alphas and the betas. So I was well aware of what we were going to get. I mean, I knew we were going to get a lot more cosmetic stuff. The map was going to be 3 times the size of the one that we had in the alpha or beta. So I knew that was pretty cool as well. There's also like different things that a lot of people don't even know about, like hidden coves that you can find underwater, sunken ships and treasures and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that people don't still haven't even figured out yet. So I think, it's one of those things where you got to put that caveat. It's not a game for everyone, just like every other game in existence.
Right.
People have a hard time believing that. Like when I say I hate The Last of Us, people look at me like I have 4 heads.
But you know what though? That's your opinion.
Exactly. That's
okay.
And the funny thing is, right? I'm not alone in this. Whenever I bring that up, people go, "Hey, you had the courage to say that. That's awesome. Why didn't you like it?" Here's why I didn't like it, because it got really repetitive and kind of boring at times, and You help that girl across the water on top of that thing multiple times, and that gets old. Or you throw a rock 100 times in a bottle, that gets old, and the mechanics were wonky. You have really fleshed out ideas why you didn't like that game, Crap, and that's why I didn't like it too. So that's cool for me. Sea of Thieves is never going to be for that single player gamer. If you were expecting this to be an RPG, MMO, it's not. It's really just make your own adventure. Like, I always had the hardest time, like, how can people have fun making Minecraft? And Sea of Thieves helps me out with that a little bit. Like, you make your own fun. Some people aren't into that.
Yeah.
Some people are, and that's fine. But the funny thing is, you usually don't see the people that aren't harass, belittle, berate, mock, do all this stuff to the ones that do enjoy it, right? And the only reason is just because this is an Xbox game. Let's face
that
it.
has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
So Xbox fans, this is exactly what happens to us: is we end up having PC dudes mock us, PlayStation dudes mock us, and fucking half the Xbox community turns in on itself and mocks us because why? Because they don't like it. So they say shit like, if you do like the game, you're just damage controlling. Well, fuck that.
No,
that's like something and not damage control it, right? Like, my hours on that game speak for itself. I wouldn't play the game if I didn't like the game. Okay, so the fact that I now have 24 hours on Sea of Thieves on the actual game and 65 to 75 hours on the alpha and beta speaks for me liking the game. Now, I feel like I've got more than my money's worth. If people weren't sure about the game, they have an option for you, $9.99, or use a free trial to try it. If it's your cup of tea, great. If not, hey, then go ahead and, then
there are other games to play.
There's plenty to play. Far Cry 5 is coming out.
4 if you count a PC, and you can go crazy. Now, if you don't mind, Mooch, I would like to jump in here because I'm going to come from a different angle. And I'm going to say that Sea of Thieves is not for me. I played about 3 to 4 hours of the beta. I played with you and Crap, which I had a lot of fun. We did this. You did the stream on Mixer, which was with a hoot. It was a lot of fun. But I am the type of gamer who, like Crap was saying, who was looking for something a little bit more. And you know what? There's two things I immediately have to say before moving forward. First of all, my hat's off to Rare for making the game that they wanted to make. Because in my opinion, and I don't care whether you like it, you don't like it, or whatever, Rare is back. They crafted something incredible. And there's a lot of opinions online about it. There's good, there's bad, and there's just some outrageous nonsense. But they crafted something incredible that's going to be around for years. And you know what? I'm happy, secondly, for Microsoft, because they have a bona fide hit on their hands. Now, regardless of whether you put 6 or 7 hours like I did, or you put 70 hours like you and Crap are probably going to wind up doing, the game is still a good game. It's just not personally for me. See, I'm more of the gamer. You see, I like multiplayer games to a certain extent. I like the Divisions. I like the Destinies. I like the Ghost Recons. Yeah. There are certain RPGs where it is an open world. You're doing different things. You have tasks. I just found, for me, there wasn't enough for me to do in Sea of Thieves to keep me there. And I'm perfectly okay with it, which is exactly why I went through the Game Pass and didn't purchase it.
Now, boom, and I don't want to interrupt you, but there was something you said early on as your first or second sentence, and you said congratulations to Rare. I'd like to say congratulations to Rare too, but then you said congratulations to Microsoft. Microsoft is where I kind of pick a little bit of the bone with, and it's because the issue I have with Microsoft was I don't think necessarily, this is the outside looking in, I don't have any data sheet or anything. I don't think Microsoft gave Rare the benefit of the doubt or all of their resources like they needed. You can see that with the server issues. You can see that by not having a custom console made. You can see that with a lot of things. And that's where I've had conversations with Crap. I've had conversations. My biggest grief is that this is a AAA game by one of their pillars.
Yes.
One of their pillars. And Microsoft, even now, Crap has done more PR for Sea of Thieves than Aaron Greenberg. What's wrong with this scenario?
You know what? I don't want to jump in and I want everyone to talk, but I have been banging this PR drum for Microsoft. Their ideology on how they show the masses their games is absolutely laughable. Okay, their marketing it just, as a fan of the brand, again, I support everything, but my first love is for Microsoft. I'm not sorry about saying that. That's just who I am.
I think a lot of people on this panel would say the same.
And I just cannot understand the way that they market their. I mean, we're not talking about second or indies, just second party or indies. We're talking about the pillars that keep the freaking, the Microsoft, standing at all times. Always seemed very wonky to me. And this is another example, because look, I saw a tweet from Aaron Greenberg the other day. This is a great game to take pictures in, and I don't see anything else. I understand. Yes, it is a great game to take pictures. In fact, I took quite a few and posted them myself. But guys, come on, this is supposed to be the year that they turn the corner.
Well, exactly. That's a good point. That's a good point, because here's the thing. I think Microsoft, okay, if the cards had fell differently, I think they could have given Rare another year on this game, because honestly, something doesn't add up. 4 years, and this is the bulk end of that game, like everything that's in it, because everybody was playing the beta and we're going, okay, fair enough, we'll forgive them. There should be a whole lot more stuff when the actual game drops, and it really wasn't. There was like snakes at it and a couple other minor little things here and there, you know what I mean? So I think realistically, they could have probably given them a year. I mean, 4 years sounds like a long time, but we don't know how far along in development they were over the course of the first years. I think Microsoft made a commitment, and Rare made a commitment to its fans to get this game out the door. It already been delayed 3 or 4 times on numerous occasions, and this year we already know has been very, very slim for Xbox exclusives. So I think there was a little bit of a forced hand. I think it was kind of like, guys, you know what? Let's just get this thing out the door. It works fine. There's nothing wrong with the way the game plays or works. It's not like glitchy as hell or anything like that. It's just it's a little bare bones. And I think we all know, realistically, they can keep adding stuff to it as they go along. And I'm sure that it will. Craig Duncan alluded to that in the MNC Mornings interview, that content will steadily come out for this game based on feedback of the fans and stuff. So, I mean, it's not time to throw in the towel and panic, because this game, I think in a year's time, is going to be completely different than the game that we have right now. Yes. But as it is, it's a fun game. It's a fun game that's getting way too much flack. Some asshat in the chat points out the 5.7% or 5.7 or something, or 57% Metacritic. Well, who gives a real shit about
it's a 71. It's a 71 right now on Rising.
But even if it was, how many times you go into the Metacritic scores and you look at the reviews and you see zeros? Okay, honestly, I can't take anybody that gives a game a 0.
Those are the user reviews. Those are pretty pathetic anyway, because those are like, you have the fanboys jump in there and put zeros in there right away. So
don't even pay attention to that.
They aren't playing it. But like, as far as the overall, it's 71. It's getting the difference is, it's like that game gets such a spectrum and is so polarizing. You get some people that really understand it and get it, and then you get some people that probably are more into like single player games, and they get this game and they're like, okay, I got to review it, and they're playing it by themselves, and they're probably not having a very good time. Although I have heard where people can have some fun by themselves, but for the most part, I look at this game as a multiplayer experience, and so they don't really know how to review it. Like, that's why, and it just sounds so bad when you say it, right? When you say it out loud, oh, these people don't know how to review a game like this. Well, it's true. Like, there's nothing else like this. Right. So it's very difficult to kind of say. And then also, to your point, Noof, even if they would have waited a year, then people would have still said that it lacked content. You're always going to have people that are going to do that. And this is a living game, a game as a service. And if you look at, I'll give a good example, Rainbow Six Siege, where that game is at now as opposed to launch, it's growing, right? Like, people think that game is like Ubisoft's big thing, right? Because they keep adding content. That's what games as a service is. They listen to the feedback. They have content to drop. They'll put it in there. It'll change. Is it perfect? No. Is it fun? Is there plenty to do? Can people give their feedback and have it be implemented? Absolutely. Is it worth all the hate? No.
I
also want to point this out, that 3 years, 4 months ago, I'm looking at this article. Phil Spencer visited Rare to hear them pitch their new game. So it's not quite 4 years ago, but 3.43, about 3.5 years ago. So that's about the development time.
But I can point out just one little thing, and this kind of came across my thoughts today. I was just before we jumped on this panel. I was on my PlayStation 4. I was playing Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus has gotten numerous crazy scores, been praised by critics and fans alike. And I'm playing this game, and I said, what does this game and Sea of Thieves have in common? At first glance, I'm thinking, well, aesthetically, nothing. But you know what? I'm on a horse riding around a goddamn empty fucking field for God knows how long to fight one giant colossi, and that is it. That is the premise of the game. So that's going to get 9s and 10s, and it's praise of the yin yang. But a game like Sea of Thieves is trash. It's garbage. It doesn't add up. You see what I'm saying?
You know what? I actually wanted to just jump onto what Crap was saying. How many AAA games have limped out of the starting gate? I mean, he said it, Rainbow Six, right? That was getting 6s when it came out. Now you talk to people, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? The Division, again, I know that some
lots of Ubisoft,
but the Division, right? Destiny 1, right? These games limped out, and over time, listen, you know, you can say what you want about Destiny, but when the Taken King came out, it changed the entire game.
That's true.
All right, and it was a game that I stopped playing, and I could not stop playing when the update came. So even though, and like I said, I'll say it, even though Sea of Thieves right now is not for me, if you stand there and say this is a shit game, then you're a shit gamer, because there's a lot to this game.
I would always question what did people expect. Like, if you played the alpha or beta, what did you really expect? There was never going to be a single player. They were very upfront about that. You know, it's like I asked this question and people don't really have an answer. Like, some people are like, you know, keep comparing it to like an RPG or something. I'm like, well, this is nothing like an RPG. Realistically, you go out and make your own kind of experience, and there's lots of different experiences to be had, and they need to add some things to it, and I see that, and that's fine. But for me, you know, it's just all about the individual experiences that you have with your friends. And I actually, like, before I came on the show, was just playing by myself, and it was funny because I go to this island and I'm gonna dig up a treasure, and then all of a sudden I get shot in the back, like somebody another boat had come up behind me. You know what I mean? Like, it's those like interesting experiences, and that's like and it's the unexpected is the big thing with that game. Like, you never know what's going to happen, and I think that's what I like.
You know what it is, Crap, to allude to what you're saying. Here's I think the main issue, and I think all of us have breezed over it. And really, I can't give myself credit. It just started kind of coming to fruition as we're all talking right now. Is what I said earlier in the show, is that Microsoft. You know, Crap, you said it yourself. What did people expect? What did they do this? What did they do that? Microsoft didn't do a great job of talking about the game. They've had 3 E3s, and they didn't talk about it properly. You're right, Boo, because even me and you said it last night. I'm like, I was expecting more of maybe like an RPG. Don't forget, too, Crap, Sea of Thieves is also Microsoft's first, you gave the statistics, the first third-party AAA blockbuster game to come out of their first party in God knows how long. So you know this one's going to get put under the radar, right? This one's under the microscope. So you've got ill communication coming from Microsoft. You've got a game that people thought were this, that. Then there was the rumor, and I'm not saying it's Rare's fault. Rare didn't say this, but people were saying this in the media. They were saying that the beta we played was 20% of the game. It was 90% of the game.
Well, the problem was, I think it got confused along the way that the size of the game we were playing was 20%, whereas the full map ended up being like triple.
Oh, okay.
Triple the map of what we got in the alpha and beta.
If I could bring a counter argument, just kind of expectations and
go
what
ahead,
we actually got in the game. One of the things that I brought up in my review is the fact that there's only one enemy type. Like, let's take the Kraken out of it because that's a random occurrence.
Right.
You just have skeletons. They're reskinned when you go to the skeleton forts, but in essence, they, fight similarly. There's not really that many changes. When's the last time you got a big AAA game like this, a big blockbuster game that had one enemy type? In my opinion, that's not acceptable.
Oh, yes, 100%.
That makes a good point. And Crap, I'll let you speak to it. Thanks to Alan Savage for that. But I mean, like, I just want to say, Crap, that is something, right? That's a valid point to say, okay, now you've had 3.5, 4 years according to your scale. We could have had a couple of more.
Sure, but I mean, there's also the NPC. There's also the actual other players. That's an enemy type. You know what I mean? And of course that adds a little bit of randomness to us. There's also the sharks. Also, not all of them are just reskinned. There's some that are much tougher And we ran into that yesterday, Mooch, where we all died multiple times just on a regular mission with the ashy type skeletons that were much tougher. So they can always add more. I would almost guarantee that we're going to see a lot more different types of things in there. Maybe they should have been there at launch, maybe not. But I don't know. It's hard to really. It's easy to look back. But what Rare did say was they want to launch the game, get the feedback, and react to it. They do have content to drop. Who knows how long it'll take them to get it, but they do have like a huge content drop in a few months, and they can do other stuff until that time. But clearly, like Phil Spencer was talking about it today. He responded to Clowns and to Jeremy Downer, and was basically like, that's kind of, if you read between the lines, he's like mentions millions, and he's like, we've had a good response from players. So I think that, he maybe takes a little offense to it. We talked to Craig Duncan, and he said he kind of hinted that he knew that the reviews would be all over the place.
Yes, he did.
And he was fine with that.
Well, that made me think of something, guys, and I want to, a little self-promotion here for me and Crap MNC Mornings when we did talk to Craig. But, guys, I got to be honest with you. I walked away from that question, and Crap, I'll say this to you. I was a little bit, listen, if you created something, Crap, and you had a game coming out, well, maybe, I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I would be talking about it like it's the top of the world. And I thought it was interesting when you asked him that question, that Craig Duncan was extremely maybe a little too honest. He was like, I don't really think everyone's going to like this game. Yeah. He said that. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That made me stop and think there. And I was like, well, why wouldn't everybody like it? And I think it's because, like you say, the game is still growing. The game is still evolving.
And look, people are going to leave and people will come back and people will try it again on Game Pass. Like, it's going to be one of those constant flux things. Like, for me personally, I would like to see ghost ships of like famous ships or whatever that you can encounter. Like, there's lots of things that can be done. And it's not like, oh my God, all is lost. It's this or this. Because honestly, just to become like a pirate legend, it's like get 50 on all the things, and then you get your hideout, and it's, that you can bring your other people to, and, do these other things in the underwater cove. It's like, there's plenty to kind of do. It's just like they do have to have, give a detailed roadmap. I think, like say, okay, well, we will bring pirate. We will bring some ships.
You know what it is, Crap? It keeps a bookmark. Okay, it keeps a bookmark, because we were talking about this last night, and I think this is a great point. They have to have a roadmap to what's coming out, because let's say you're going to leave. Your gamers are not the same. When you're talking about shooters like The Division or Destiny, it's easy to rope in a shooter again. This is a make your own adventure. There's not a lot of make your own adventure people you hang out with at a bus stop. Okay, like there's not a lot of those people hanging around. So if you have a detailed roadmap of what's coming, they don't have to put dates.
Because if you look at games like Destiny or The Division, they detail what's like The Division, right? They're like, here's our roadmap. We're gonna do these 2 updates at end of Division 2, right? So like you gotta give people a reason.
Yeah, when they do their state of the game, it is. And again, I being a huge fan of it, I can attest to this. When they go out of their way to give you a state of the game, they are giving you a ridiculous amount of info. Now, again, granted, some of the stuff you're like, I don't understand what they're saying. But it is such a detailed list. You cannot walk away from that and be like, you know what? They're not doing anything in this game. Screw them. This is exactly what Rare needs to do, and they will do it. Like I said, everyone just needs to take a breath and just look, here's the thing. Even though I've said it, the game isn't for me, it doesn't mean that the game isn't good, and it doesn't mean that the game launched broken. Yes, they had some server issues. I totally get that. I couldn't get in myself the first night.
I was okay with the server issues, but as I was, and listen, everyone on this panel is a consumer. Okay, so we've all bought a product one way, shape, form, or another. But my point is this: I don't like. When me and Crap first played Halo Master Chief Collection, we both settled down. We're like, we're going to play through this. We started playing. We saw the Chivos didn't pop. Now, you guys all know Crap's more in the achievements than I am, but I do have to say this much. That bothered me too. Yeah. Because that's part of the package. The fact that the servers are not working as properly as they wanted when they had 65 alphas and betas, that bothered me a little. Then the Chivos don't pop. Then the gold didn't show. That was stuff that kind of bugged me a little bit as a consumer. Not that is it the end of the world? No, because at least what you did still tallied. So it wasn't like it wasn't.
For those that don't know, they just they turned off the achievements.
Yeah, they turned your achievements off.
Just turned them off. You're just like, wow. Not only that, but They also like any of the pre-order stuff or the codes for the stuff, like none of that stuff. That's all turned off too. Like you literally can't. It's because too many people are trying to access the servers. Too many people are trying to play, and I guess all that stuff server strain. I don't know, but it's so weird because they mentioned like 4 to 5 times the amount of people from the final beta, which we know was like over 1 million people. So kind of do the math with that. It's a 5,000 per minute at one particular point trying to access the game. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not, but that's a lot of fucking people. And so, they had to do that. It sucks because I pre-ordered, so I should have got the Black Dog set.
Yes.
Right now my guy runs around looking like a bum. And then also I spent $80 on this controller that also had a set.
Mine
entered in the DLC code, and then I got nothing. I look in my bin and I got nothing.
Yeah. Same here.
But on the other side,
I got the Black Dog set, but I didn't. I went and put in the code for the controller, and I didn't get that. And I was like,
no,
what the hell?
I didn't
Did you get the Black Dog
set? I know.
Yeah, I got my Black Dog set, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I went and put in my code for the controller, and it wasn't popping up, and I'm like, okay, and then. All of a sudden, I saw that they were keeping a lot of things held back because of the server stuff, and I'm like, all right, so it'll all come back in here when they.
I think it'll start. What crap did they give a day? Is it Monday?
I think
Tuesday,
it's early
Wednesday?
next week. They said so. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Look, it's not perfect. There's a lot of people trying to get in there. I'm the first to admit that, but it definitely doesn't deserve. Just people going out of their way to hate on it. Everybody's a goddamn reviewer all of a sudden. Like
everyone's a critic, crap.
Everyone's a viewer.
There's something I got to say about this.
You got dudes that don't review anything, and then all of a sudden they want to review this because why? They want to quote unquote keep it real on a game. And when you keep it real,
they're keeping it real when it's towards Xbox.
Yeah, when it's keeping it real on Xbox, that's hashtag when shitting on it.
This is when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand how all these, magazines and reviewers loved it at E3. They loved the alpha, they loved the beta, and then the game comes out, and all of a sudden they got complaints. What do they want? Like a silver spoon feeding the whole game to their mouth? I mean, this is like an adventure game, man. You got to go out there and spend a couple hours, and you can't just go out there and spend 2 hours and get through half the story.
Clowns, it's easy and it's popular to hate on what Microsoft does. We all know that, right? There's nothing new. That's an old slogan, so we don't need to go and beat that dead horse. But I mean, realistically, that's what Crap's saying. Everybody kind of wants to put their 2 cents on it, and that's fine. I mean, there's no way I can sit here and give my 2 cents and someone else can't. But the point of the matter is that I say this. All I ever say is if you're going to go ahead and critique it on a true default, not just you don't like it. Now, myself personally, I just thought going into this game I thought there was going to be more because, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. No pun intended, but I did. In the fact that I thought we were playing 25% of the game in the beta, and I thought when we came here on launch day, everything was just going to be like, wow, holy shit. And when we went to go play it, it felt very similar to the beta. And then I was like, okay, so if this is what it is and they're going to add to it, and I really got my growing pains, my shot in the arm when we talked to Craig. That was when I was like, oh, okay, I see where he's going with this. And I didn't see that. Again, I think that's a Microsoft thing. Now, Clowns, where did you do this 180 flip? Because a week ago on CrossFire, I'm pretty sure you were canceling your pre-order and you wanted nothing to do with it. And now I think you just got a Craig Duncan tattoo just above your left ass cheek.
Well, I was going to get the rare one on the right and Craig on the
great.
Nice but like Crap said, I gave this game a chance. I actually spent quite a few hours in the game with Assassin. I even played it with Downer, and me and Downer had fun in this game despite
good point, Clowns. And I'm going to let you finish because you rarely get a chance to talk. Like, I see people that hate on the game. You look, and they're playing it for hours on end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Downer and I we did a skeleton fort by ourselves, and we had a blast. We got everything to the port. We got everything unloaded. 19 G's turned in. 2 kids try to come and rob us. Instead, we rob them, take all their stuff, and turn that in. We get like an extra 2 G on that, and we're having a blast. And
so, okay, let me pose the question to the panel. Salty, get in on this, Clowns, you too, because I've asked Crap this. I know his number. But let's just say, okay, Rare's got some work to do. We all know that, right? They've got. I'm talking about servers and stuff. I'm not talking about filling the world and this and that. I can't speak to that. But we know they got stuff they got to repair for the next week or so. Let's fast forward 2 Fridays from now. 2 Fridays from now, everything as far as content stays put. It's just the way it is right now. Are you guys still playing it as intensely as you are now, 2 Fridays from now, as the game sits today?
Absolutely. I'm going to get to the Pirate Legend. I'm not stopping until I get there.
All around. How are you doing those damn chickens and all that crap, man? Jesus.
Who's doing chickens?
Well, you got to get that.
Green Islands.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
you got to run around and grab the pigs and the chickens
and stuff. And those are timed, by the way, so it's a little bit.
What about you, difficult. Salty? Are you in 2 Fridays from now? Are you dedicated? If everything stays, let's say the servers, everything's working great now. Achievements are popping, everything's working perfectly, but content remained the same. What are you doing 2 Fridays from now? Are you doing Sea of Thieves?
Honestly, Far Cry is coming out, so that probably will cut into it. But this is a cool game in the sense that I don't feel like I have to like grind, or I'll be left behind. It's kind of like you go at your own pace. Like you can play with your friends whenever. You're not going to be left behind. Like in Destiny, if you didn't play, your friends would level up. They'd have to redo missions. They didn't want to do that. In this game, it's perfect. I mean, if you want to hop in and you haven't played for a couple days, you do that. If you want to grind it, So,
now, Salty, let me ask you a question, Salty. So, Crap also have this sidebar discussion. This is just, I'm throwing it out there. What you just said is a positive. Someone could very easily flip that as a negative, because the positive part of what you said is for the person that left to go play Far Cry for 2 weeks can come back and play with the person like Crap or another person that hasn't left the game. However, what about the people that are dedicated like Crap and others that are going to put in 100, 200 hours in this thing in the first month, and they have done all this work, and now all of a sudden you're like, woo, that Far Cry was a treat. Now let's get back to this boating. And all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, you're doing what I'm doing. I've been here the whole time. This is my shrimp boat. I'm the shrimp boat captain.
I could be by then. I could be a pirate. I could be a pirate legend, or I could have totally decked out everything.
But what could you do, Crap, that he can't?
Well, if you're a pirate legend, you actually get. There's other things you can do.
Are there new missions?
Well, yeah, you can play the shit out of that game in order to get credits to buy anything.
Ship masts. $140,000 ship masts that you can't get if you just take a break.
If you get the ship mast, I could still hop on your boat, though, right? So
I mean, then I could scuttle it and sink you.
Well, if we're on a team, I don't know.
No, if you're on a team, you would. Yeah, no. Well, and then if you did, it would just respawn again.
So the point is like, what would they have to do to continue to keep my attention? Well, they're going to put in animal companions, right, in April. Yeah. So that's a cool thing. I really think that they need to have events that people can do. Maybe. Yeah. You go hunt this captain or whatever, and everybody does it. And if you do it and it's just, a series of events, you can get special items that you can equip, and it's only for a certain amount of time. That would be intriguing, right? So that would be motivating for me to continue with it and keep going. But I don't know.
That's what I had said, and I want to open it up to the panel. Salty, thanks for starting the subject up, because that is important. Me and Crap, 3-4 weeks ago on Crossfire, he's like, well, what would you do then, Mooch? What would you say that you'd want added? And that's what I was saying. That right now you have the skeleton fort, right, which is the skeleton in the sky with the eyes that glow. I would say that on the north, east, west, and south, of course, I'm being very generic, you'd have different things in the sky. Maybe it wouldn't always be a cloud, okay? But something that you'd be, when you hit the ends of each of these maps or the corners, you would have something to go out there, like you said, an event where you go out there and it's a huge task. And it's like, and they're hard. I don't care if where it goes to the nth degree, makes it really difficult where you got to figure it out. Like right now for the Skull Fort, spoilers for all of you that don't know this. And if you don't, shame on you. You park your boat way out. Okay, if you have a team of 4, 2 go in, you take over the where they're firing the cannons at you. Then the other 2 come in. You have to do 10 to 15 waves of different skeletons coming at you. Then you get a key. You get all the treasures. Okay, that's great. And that's not a bad way to start, because it is still a decent challenge for the first time. But then they need to have 3, 4 other ones that we can go at will, or maybe they only appear once a month, right? Like how Destiny does Iron Banner. Yeah. You do something where you're like, there's something adventure. And it's like, oh, we're doing that this week? You bet your ass we're doing that this week. I'm going to get like 10,000 gold from this.
You'll get different pirate hats. Right. You'll get different
hats here.
For the actual event, you'll get a particular item or items that you can't get when you don't do the event. I think that's fantastic. I also like the idea of a public event kind of a thing, that even though
like the Kraken.
Yes, okay, listen, I understand everyone's a pirate and a ship is a ship. My ship hates your ship and your ship hates mine. I get it. We're pirates. Everyone hates each other. Totally understandable. But wouldn't it be pretty awesome if there was something random that popped up and it was, like I said, something in the sky, like the screen turns kind of reddish or something to let you know that, okay, in this area something's happening, all the ships converge and they work together for that particular moment. When they're done, everyone gets a treat or gets a chest or whatever, and they go about their business.
Yeah, because you don't have to do Iron Banner in Destiny.
Right.
But if you do it, you get certain gear.
Yes.
And like you'll see somebody for 2 weeks after Iron Banner running around. You're like, oh, that person did Iron Banner. Actually, that's a pretty cool outfit. I should have done it. Yeah. And what it does is it encourages you. So the next time Iron Banner comes out, you get a hold of your friends and you're like, dude, can we do that this week? And they're like, oh, now you want to do it? Yeah, So I like that idea. These are the things. And so now let me take this back to the controversial question. Shouldn't some of these have been in the game?
Yes.
Like the Skeleton Fort. Yeah. On day one, besides just the Skeleton Fort, right? Noof, are you saying yes?
100%.
Yes, totally. And there's 100. I've already came up with a dozen ideas that would work great in this game, and I'm sure a lot of us have our own ideas as well. Obviously, on the cover of the game alone, and again, going back to your guys' interview from MNC Mornings, remember I brought up about the fact there should have been like a rowboat in the game, and it didn't make it in.
Frank said he agreed with that too,
right? Because it's even on the cover. You look at the cover, and you see the picture, and it's like there's a rowboat on the cover, so something's weird. But okay, that'll come back to it. But even little things too to make the game more engaging, like this, for example, you should have the option that when you're on a ship, say you're approaching the shore, you're getting ready to bring in your quota or whatever, you should be able to hold up like a flag that says, hey, like, we're friendly, please don't fire on us. Now it's up to the other guys. They want to fire on you, great. They want to be arseholes and blow your ship to bits, great. But as soon as they blow you up after you wave the flag that, hey, like, we're trying to be friendly here, they should get like a big bounty that goes on top of them. So when that ship is sailing around the map, they'll have this big X marked on the ship around the map, and you can go track that son of a bitch down and blow him up, and then you'll get like all their credits and a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like little things like that.
So you're saying kind of like how agents go rogue in the division and Dark Zone.
Exactly. Nice. And then there'd be a bounty on that person's head, and if you blow up that ship, you get their treasure. You get like some sort of reward. You know what I mean? And you put the balance back.
It puts the checks and balances on the whole espionage of being a troll. Shout out to Irrelevant Native who says his idea is different country Navy attack public events. So British Navy versus pirates, very similar to what you see with the interaction between Johnny Depp and his pirates versus the naval armada that is out there, his nemesis. And this is what I'm saying. Listen, we're just shooting ideas out right now, right? Is Rare supposed to collect all these and make it game?
Hold on, I'll read you exactly like what they're talking about in terms of post content.
Yeah, go ahead, Crap. I think a lot of people want to know.
This is coming directly from Rare. Well, of course they're gonna introduce like the pets and stuff like that, so you're gonna be able to do that. But they're also basically what they said is the first couple months. They're going to be, the main goal is to be reactionary to what the fans want. The main goal for Sea of Thieves players at launch will be attaining the status of a pirate legend with access to a secret hideout, as well as more daring, rewarding legendary voyages. So once you become a legendary pirate, there's all these other things that you unlock and that you'll be able to do, as well as get your own hidden hideout that you can bring non-legendary pirates to if they're on your team. He says, our main post-launch goal is giving Captain options for pirate legends. We want to make sure we're enriching the experience for everyone, so new merchants are coming, trading posts, and trading companies. Rare looks back on when exploding barrels were added to Sea of Thieves during the alpha process, and the studio saw a spike in players revisiting the game after this new element. Because I remember when there were no exploding barrels, and they added them, and then I guess a lot of people came back or whatever. So they're taking a similar line with post-launch content for Sea of Thieves, hoping that the addition of new merchants and trading companies will be able to keep players coming back. On top of this, they're also hoping to capitalize on timed events for Sea of Thieves. One thing that he pointed out was the inclusion of brand new merchant who would only visit for a limited time in Sea of Thieves before disappearing and popping up again at a later date, sort of like Destiny.
Xur.
Yes. And while Rare hasn't explicitly stated that new voyages will be coming to Sea of Thieves post-launch, the addition of new trading companies surely equates to new voyages arriving along with said trading companies. It's through all this that Rare hopes to keep people coming back to Sea of Thieves for months to end. The developer seems incredibly confident in its ability to put out Sea of Thieves content. So, yeah.
No, that's actually a decent roadmap. And I want to say something. Noof just said something in the chat. And do you guys remember the whole State of Decay 2 debacle when it came out? People were like, is it 30? Is it 60? Is it 30? Is it 60? The first day that launched, you can go back and see that I tweeted out. I said, maybe this is Microsoft's idea with their first-party games, because it's being offered in multiple areas, is that maybe they can have a cheaper sale for a physical or digital. And now, Noof, you just said it yourself. You said I would have, I paid 80 Canadian. He's like, I would have thought this was maybe a $40. So translate that to American dollars, 60. Me and Crap were talking about this last night. 60. I thought maybe that since this is in Game Pass, so people can try it for $10, and a lot of people are. A lot of the numbers you're seeing are Game Pass. Game Pass is being, but I think this game maybe, and I think Microsoft should maybe do this for not Halo, Gears, but for all these new IPs that are coming out, try maybe a $30 price tag and get people to buy this, because like Crap's saying, this roadmap is going to go on for months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. This is going to keep growing and growing.
But that's what makes
you're going to lose people at the $60 value initially.
Yeah, but that's what makes Game Pass even more attractive. You look over and see that game on the shelf at 60 or 80, and you go, geez, well, Game Pass just paid for itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. I would say Marco.
The lower you make those games, the lower you make those introductory prices on the shelf, the less people are going to say, well, Game Pass doesn't offer as much value as it did before.
So I have a question for the panel. Like, once you get to be Pirate Legend, since this is going to be a game as a service model, I'm not sure how long they want to continue this game, but I'm guessing it's for years. What happens when you become Pirate Legend? Like, how is their progression after that point? Because with games like Destiny, when they add content, they up the light level, so they up your level. Even if you hit the cap, you can have something to work towards. I was just wondering what you guys think.
Well, supposedly armadas were something that they're working on, so you'll be able to have multiple ships or bigger crew. You know what I mean? Like that was something that they were hitting at as well. And you get different. You get to do legendary missions, which I guess would be much tougher missions and stuff. So I mean, that's like the main thing is that I think that people should probably go to their forums and request things if they want it. Just for the simple fact that, like, just blowing smoke on YouTube or Twitter isn't really helping the situation if they're not happy.
Right.
So,
yeah, but it's just an idea, because like with games with like COD, there's prestige modes and stuff like that. So it's just to help, like, once
maybe you can be an admiral. I don't know.
Right.
That'd be cool. It'd be cool. Just an idea.
No, that's a great idea, Sultan. I mean, these are the things that, like, I know. Listen, you know what's funny? And Zaire said this back years and years ago, and Crap knows this more than anything, is a lot of these guys do listen to all of our podcasts. They do. They catch wind of it, or they hear about it, or someone takes a snippet. And I think that's a great idea, Sultan. That's the thing about this game. And that's where I had this conversation with Crap in my concern group, because, yes, this is a game that grows, but like, will it continue to grow if people leave? Now, this is what brings us into Game Pass. We're looking at 1 million people, 5,000 per minute trying to get on the servers, and all these numbers are astronomical. But what I'm looking at that I'm very interested in is 30 and 60 days. You're probably like, Mooch, where are you pulling these numbers out of your head? No, a lot of people are doing Game Pass for the $9.99, 30 days. All right, maybe they bought 2 months. I don't know if you can do it in month increments, but the 30 and then 60-day mark to see when they going to renew Game Pass for this game, because don't forget, State of Decay 2 doesn't come out till the end of May. Right. So that's a whole month of April in there, April into May, that they might go, I'm leaving. I'll come back in May. So do you think people are going to hang around long enough, or do you think Rare's going to have enough content? And Crap read it off. He read it off. So are they going to be? My thing is, are they going to get it out soon enough? Because yes, it does lead to Game Pass's strengths, like you were just saying. But I also think that I'm hoping Game Pass isn't just a Band-Aid right now, and these numbers are kind of inflated. Do you guys see what I'm saying with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely, I completely understand where you're going, and only time is really going to tell. I mean, we could sit here like we do every Friday and speculate and give our opinion on what it is. But my question to the panel and to anyone that's in the chat is, does the initial opinion of half the people out there that have a negative opinion, and not so much a negative opinion, just saying that the lack of content, it seems to be something that comes up in almost every conversation, right?
Right.
Do you think this is going to kind of force Rare's hand to put out more quicker?
And and I'm glad you bring that up. And this is crap. The one thing that is annoying you to the nth degree that may work out as a benefit to the game you're truly loving. I think a little bit of because I think, honest to God, don't go by the Metacritic. But first of all, anybody that goes to Metacritic for anything right now, there's so many shows and vlogs and blogs and YouTubers out there. But no, I don't care who you like or who you don't like. Go to who you like. Watch what they're saying. Trust them, whoever it may be. It doesn't have to be me. It can be whoever you like. Go out there and look at them. You don't need a Metacritic score. But I do think this is a good thing because any of the constructive, as Phil said today, I don't know if he said it to Clowns or he said it to Tim Dog, but he's like, keeping a constructive criticism only encourages Rare, as Boom was saying, to get this thing really, really top notch and get it out the door ASAP. And I think that's important. If everyone's just like, it's great, it's wonderful, everything's fine, don't worry about it. Well, you know what Rare's going to do? They're going to have 15 to 20 TVs watch us all playing it with their feet up. So I think a little bit of constructive criticism is good. It's where people go off the deep end is where, again, bad pun intended there. But I'm saying when you go off the deep end, that's when you really shouldn't go be that hard because the game is a lot of fun. I'm actually having the most fun with it. I said this during the pre-show, and then we're going to change subjects. I did have the most fun with this with the family. I'm not going to lie to you. To be able to get on a two-person crew, me and my son just kind of going out there having fun, it is an absolute blast. It's a lot of fun to go out there, and I think anyone who has kids that gets the if your kids are old enough to be able to experience it, it is truly the game that you guys may put in your memory banks as the game that you and your son or your son and your dad played, the crap out of together and truly enjoyed the experience because it is enjoyable. And like Crap said, he's in the middle of digging up a treasure and he got shot. Okay, that's an emotion of anger. He's pissed. He's like, damn it, I got all the way over, right? But then you go and do 3 runs, not get shot or not get trolled, and you get everything back. And there's just that sense of high five your kid or you high five your buddy, and you're like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Well, when we did when I did that stream with you guys, we saw only 2 ships, and every chest that we brought in, we got in, right? We got the credit for everything. So.
But it's funny. Earlier that night when me, Crap, Grave played, I don't remember if that was when Hellhammer was on or not. But when we played, now we got into an awful fight with a couple of people.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad. We couldn't get anything back. We had to just keep fighting, and finally we got past it. But Anoof, did you have something to contribute? I heard you chiming in. I don't know if Noof.
I was just gonna say that let's give kudos to Rare for at least one thing, and that is trying something different by expanding the portfolio of the Xbox platform. That's something that a lot of people aren't looking at well enough because, look, we've heard it, and Krabs pointed out, and you pointed it out, Mooch, a billion times, that every time Microsoft brings out games, we always hear a lot of people bitching, well, oh, you just got Gears, you got Forza, you got Halo, it's a shooter box, it's blah, 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 blah. So now we finally get a game that, honestly, what is out there? Find a game out there that's comparable. That's nothing. So you know what? And you just said they hit the nail on the head. It's a great family game. It's the kind of game that just about anybody can jump into. It's not going to be a game that is meant for everybody. There's people that had a hate on for Sea of Thieves before it even launched because they didn't like pirates. They didn't like pirate games. They didn't like the thought of sailing a ship. Some people don't like it because they get on a ship and they can't stop it with the quick action of the A button, or the Y button to speed it up like you would with other games of that ilk. This game takes real teamwork. It takes real cooperation. You don't even see that in a lot of games where a game really thrives on the co-op aspect of it. It's like you just get on a boat with any old bloke and do well with it. Like, you need a team that cooperate, have good communication, that are cohesive, that actually know what they're doing. I think one thing they missed the boat with, and this is really weird, is that they didn't put in an actual tutorial. And I don't understand why they wouldn't do that, because the game does have a bit of a steep learning curve for anybody who doesn't know port side from starboard, who doesn't know, how the sails work, how the wind, it makes a big difference to how fast there's a lot of little things. There's a lot of crazy stuff in Sea of Thieves that we're still discovering, and it's just crazy. So I think even a half an hour tutorial to let people dive in to figure out how it works as a one-man crew, how it works on a big galleon with 4. I think those are integral. Maybe Rare will put something in later, but you need something more than just say this is what the controls are.
I don't think you're wrong, Noof. However, I'll just counter and say that I also. So when you say steep learning curve, I think if you're going out there playing it solo, you make a point. But if you're with anybody who's played this, like Boom came on the ship. Boom really hadn't played a lot of it. He hopped out with me and Crap. And 2, 3, and J-Dubs played with us last night who didn't put a lot of hours into it. Crap, how long did it take us to tell J-Dubs how to start handling stuff? He messed up the first 2 times, and then he was like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I mean, like when we like dropped the anchor, and then he dropped it, but we kept on trying to roll it up at the same time. Like we wouldn't stop. Yeah, it was like so it does take a little bit, but I'll point out that like today was the first time that I really kind of spent any time playing that game alone. That's almost like a horror game, right? Like
yeah.
You're really looking over your shoulder. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, listen, my first experience with this game was not a good one. I started the game. I was by myself because none of my friends happened to be on, or they already had 4-man crew. You know what? Let me feel around for a bit. I got in the ship. I sailed a little bit. I saw, okay, look, I saw a light from a distance. I was doing pretty well. It was like regular cove. You know, it had merchants on there. Yeah. I go to talk to the merchant, and as I'm talking to the merchant, the screen turns red because someone just shot me in the back.
Right.
So not a good first impression, but at the same time, I wasn't angry. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch my back a little better.
Let me just say this to Kingzilla 24/7. He's like, is this podcast going to be just people not liking Sea of Thieves? I think this has been a very positive. I know, right?
I love Sea of Thieves.
I don't know what he's saying, but you know, if you'd like, we could just start playing REM's Shiny Happy People in the background, and we can all get into a verse.
I think everyone has said everyone has been critiqued it in a way that's been professional and honest.
Absolutely,
I don't see that at all.
But no, we are going to move on. I do it, and crap, I'm going to ask you because you did a video on it. You said it leaked. I had seen some murmurings earlier in the week, and then you did a video on it today. So the NPD numbers have come out, I guess, early, or they're out. They came out yesterday.
Somebody leaked them, like always, right? Yeah.
And so what?
PlayStation 4 won, and then Xbox One, and then Switch was, I guess, last. So,
yeah, that's what I saw that. So I mean, where are we here as we change subjects slightly over to the NPD real quick? I mean, nobody seems to, myself being one included. I don't care really.
It's like I think I cared early on. Like that, there's obviously been enough Xbox One sold to continue to make more Xbox consoles in the future.
Yes.
So Microsoft seems happy. They're kind of doing their own thing, whether you like it or not. I don't know, but you know, I honestly don't think they give a shit about the console sales. You know, if you're using a game that uses Azure, you're an Xbox gamer. If you're playing Minecraft, you're an Xbox gamer. If you're Windows 10, you're an Xbox gamer. If you're playing something that uses Simply Gone, you're an Xbox gamer, or Havoc Engine, you're an Xbox gamer. Like, you got to understand, when you boot up PUBG, man, the first thing you see is like shit like Simply Gone and stuff. That's all Microsoft. So 40 million copies of that game are sold, and that's Microsoft.
Same thing goes for Sony games. So they're getting Microsoft's getting paid for Sony games too.
They're getting money from all over the place, dude.
Right. So money-wise,
they're making they're good. I mean, they don't really. I don't think they look at it traditionally the way that we do.
But crap, you know what's interesting? And I started reading. I'm well through another book in gaming, The Console Wars, and it's funny, man. You go back and listen to the executives for Sega of America and Nintendo of America, dude. Those guys hated each other. They hated each other. They were like, we got to win. I want to win. What are they doing? Do more. Do more. And now, you know, it's just that I think is why. So anybody that kind of comes into this and they're like, you guys are into the console war. Listen, anybody that's probably over the age of 30 was part of this whatever console war was growing up in the 80s and 90s, right? And now to see like one side, which was heavily into it. Don't think that Xbox executives that are there now have their hands in the air and they have candles lit. I get that. Right? I get that. But like the executives of Xbox that are just recently gone, okay, like Peter Moore.
They were cutthroat, dude.
They were cutthroat dudes,
yes,
you know? So like this isn't just like in Matric, and these guys wanted exclusives on their console that others couldn't get anywhere else. This is a new concept. So when you see people getting used to it, and I think now we're used to it. It's now that honeymoon stage is over with the whole Kumbaya. Now I turn on my Xbox and I hear Kumbaya, or what is it? Somebody row the boat ashore comes on. But nonetheless, okay. What do you guys think about this? I want to talk to because the Crossfire podcast. We all talk about this occasionally. Salty, let me go to you and then Noof and Glitch. What do you guys think? Like when you hear NPD, it's not fanboy stuff. It's kind of the business end of it. Are you totally on board now with lighting a candle before you turn on your Xbox?
Oh God, NPD. It's nice to know where your console's sitting, your console of choice. You know, like how healthy it is. It's nice to see that. It's not long ago that Xbox was struggling to sell 100K. So it's nice to see them in second place.
Right.
Solely for the fact that, they're moving consoles, and a lot has to do with the X. The X is very successful. And, lots of people are getting their tax returns and buying, Xbox One X's.
Yes.
But as far as lighting a candle, definitely not lighting candles. Don't want to burn my house down.
I'm not lighting a candle anytime soon either, Salty. I hear you. And I think you make a good point. So I don't mean to put you on the hot seat there. I just mean more along the lines of, look, I don't know exact number, and you don't have to say it right now, but we're in the same age group, okay? And the way it was when we were younger. I don't care, Sega, Genesis, Nintendo, or Atari versus Coleco. I don't care how far back the chain you want to go. It doesn't make a difference. It was always something that was competitive. And to see one of the two in the ring kind of not throw the towel, but not want to fight. They're still fighting in their, like Crap said, they're fighting on their own terms. It is just interesting. And so you've said I was on your show, and you said, somebody asked you, you don't have a PS4 right now currently, unless you did in the past 2 weeks, go buy one.
No. I was thinking about buying one. I was actually in Best Buy, and I was thinking about trying to order the God of War thing, but then I remembered how ugly it was.
You're like, I don't want anything to do with it.
Out. Yeah.
No, good for you. But I mean, like that, and that's why I kind of went to you first, is because you only have one of the two, or one of the three, if you would, in Xbox. That I think that would kind of, I wouldn't use the word irk you. You're not losing sleep, But I mean, at the same time, you'd be like, man, I kind of wish that you see even split the year with Sony, or win 4 or 5. Right now, we haven't won shit.
No.
And, you got to wonder. Where's that and I'm reading a book right now, like I said, The Console Wars. It is a great book, and you should definitely check it out, because if you want to see what we've been talking about, if you're younger right now, you're like 20, 21, you're like, man, I don't know why Mooch keeps caring about the NPD, or why does Crap keep doing a video on it? Because we grew up in an era where it was a big deal to draw a line in the sand and prefer. We still do it with everything else. You can't say you're like, Mooch, stop it. We play everything. Now, honey, make sure return the Coke. I don't drink Coca-Cola. I drink only Pepsi. It's like we all do that. Everybody prefers one drink over the other. There's people who drink Evan Williams over Jack because they think it tastes better. Whatever. Okay, it is what it is. My whole point is that.
And let's not add. Right? Let's add to that with sports. If you're in New York, I live in New York. You live in New York, right? Let's say I like the Jets and I hate the Giants, and you're a Giant fan and you hate the Jets. That's just the way it is.
It's the way it is, folks. So it's not just a fan.
By the way, I'm a Steelers fan. Sorry, Crap. I since I was 6,
don't get Crap all riled up. Glitcher, what about you, Glitch? What's your take on this? I mean, it's good to see like sometimes someone come on the show that's new and say, you know what, this is my take on the whole like console, debate on the NPD.
Me personally, I really don't care about the numbers. I really never was big into it. I know a lot of people like to, like Salty said, like see their brand grow, see how they're growing and stuff. That's always been something I was never really big into. I mean, let me ask you a question, Glitch. When you were a kid, were you a Nintendo or a Genesis? I had them both. So
you had to like one more than the other. Were you a Mario guy, a Metroid guy, or were you Sonic the Hedgehog and Altered Beast? Come on, break it out.
I liked Metroid. So yeah, I would have to say
you're a Nintendo guy.
Yeah, because I love Metroid.
Well, I was too. I was a Nintendo guy too. Be careful. We have to whisper that around here because a lot of Xbox fans are Genesis fans. I had both too, but
I mean, I don't know. I just never really got down with the numbers. It really never was like, oh man, Xbox did this, Sony did this, Nintendo did this. It's just as long as everybody's like enjoying their brand that they bought, isn't that what it really comes down to and what it matters?
Well, there you go, chat. You just found out Attack of the Glitcher's blood pressure is lower than mine and Crap's. He's a lot more chill on the subject than we were.
That's just my take and outlook on it, I guess.
No, that's fine. Noof, what about you, buddy? Noof, what's your take on these numbers? Do you care about what's actually coming down the pipe as far as a victory maybe for, because we all thought when the X came out, this is, was going to, no pun intended again, turn the ship around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the novelty effect is sort of worn off, and people, and again, this is partly on Microsoft. They promoted it fairly heavily. I'll give them credit back in, leading up to the launch. But since then, guys, I mean, really, what have you seen? Maybe 1 or 2 deals where they've thrown in PUBG and maybe another game, but I haven't seen it in your face. I constantly continue to see PlayStation advertisements. Like today, for example, I saw a great one from PlayStation UK where they said it was like a 2-minute advertisement that had all of their games, like some of their current hits, some stuff that's coming down the pipe. And they kept one thing that was very common in this ad. You'll see every couple of seconds, only on PlayStation, only on PlayStation. And, kudos to them. They know their audience, and boy, they are going for the jugular every chance they get. Microsoft is going this laxy-daisy route. All we heard is Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, and you get little fidgets and farts about a new game coming up from Major Nelson or something like that. You know what I mean? These guys got to step up their game. There's no question it's lacking, and that is half the battle. It's not all the battle. I mean, you can't sell a console if you don't have the games, and somewhere along the line some fucking company has got to put out a game on this X that shows you why we're paying $500 for it, not just for an up resolution. We need a game that really oozes wow.
I want to add to that. You know who should do that? Effing Microsoft should do that.
Microsoft. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, dude. I want you just knocked it out of the park with that statement, because I've been sitting here listening to everyone boiling. My thing is this, all right? Look, I love Microsoft. I want them to win. I was a numbers guy back in the days. Now, we've lost so much that it's just a win now would be absolutely pointless. You win now, you win matter. Now, wow, big deal. The thing is this: Microsoft is the reason why they're in the position that they're in. End of story. Not the fans. No. Microsoft is responsible. So you know what? They put out the $500 box. If I have to hear after E3 2018 that we have to wait to the next E3, I'm jumping out the window. Okay? I'm trading in my green card. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to trade it in and see what I can get for it, because I don't want to keep talking about till 2025. If this E3, they don't make my eyeballs melt, then there is something seriously wrong with the company, because there's a $500 box that is, in some instances, PC games cannot touch what's in this system, right? That's how incredible it is.
Boom. Here's perspective for you. Don't you find it odd that still one of our showcase titles is a launch game by the name of Rise, and that's what we constantly go back to?
Listen, I did a video on it. I've played it recently. The game is stunning to this day, and it's old as hell. I just don't understand. I understand we have to wait to E3, and I'm not burning down the Xbox, business. I'm just saying that this E3, they have to be the one to take the lead. I'm tired of hearing you can play the best third-party games on our system. You know what? Stop depending on third parties, because you could play that everywhere. Get some balls, right? Put your stake in the ground and make some incredible first and second party games that you could only play on this system. End of story.
Yeah, the thing is too is and again, this is something I kind of picked up from the book recently, was character development. And the one thing that Microsoft's doing, there's no hiding this agenda. Microsoft's Xbox is a multiplayer box.
Yes.
Whether you want to admit that or not. And Sony's is more of a single player box. But the one thing that you do is if you're going to develop these feelings, these attachments to the box, okay, not the piece of plastic everybody says, but the experiences in gaming that everyone talks about all the time. Okay, I'm sorry. Everyone, on one page, everyone's like, "Oh my God, I'm so tied to this game, and it's so enriching." And that same person 2 minutes later is like, "What do you mean you like a piece of plastic? You were just fondling it in another tweet." So, anyways, Microsoft doesn't do that as well, and they haven't done that well for a while. Now, I said with Recore, with Jewel, they had an amazing character there to kind of take and run with it. Again, I said this and I got in trouble for this, but I'm saying she's the Lara Croft of their new franchises. They could take that character and run with it. What do? Not run with it. Okay, so now you've got Sea of Thieves. There's no character development there. You're the character, you yourself. That's fine. When you go to play State of Decay, you're in charge of a community, a colony. So There's no single person there where you're like getting attached to somebody. And then when it comes to Crackdown, it's just going to be you picking an agent, go out there and do this. You need to start making character development. You're probably going, well, Mooch, where are you going with this? Take like Sony, for example. There's people who are going to go buy a PS4 that have held out this long because Kratos is back. Then they're going to go get one because Joel and Ellie came back, which is a new one that they created. Then they've got Nathan Drake. Then they're going to have whoever this person is from Days Gone. Then they've got the girl from Horizon Zero Dawn. Everybody on your PlayStation right now, if you look at all your friends on PlayStation, half of them have what's her name? Boom. Aloy's face as their icon. Like, they've made another character to attach to you, the gamer. Microsoft has Master Chief and James.
Let's face it.
And that's it.
Let's face it, Mooch. Sony is selling fucking steak, and Microsoft's gotten busy selling half-price doubles.
Wow, damn.
It's not that bad. The world's not falling down. I'm just saying that's my whole thing with character development.
Let me point something out real quick, right? Because it's always seems so hypocritical when people go, Microsoft only does the same old franchises over and over again. I hate that. And then you ask them, well, what game are from Sony you most looking forward to this year? God of War. Well, this is like the 8th or 9th, 10th God of War or whatever. So how do people not see the hypocritical nature of that reply? Also, people go, man, Microsoft really needs to do new IPs. Well, they just released a brand new IP. It's called Sea of Thieves. Or they go, Microsoft really needs to do a single player game. And that's fair enough, right? And then, but you never hear people go, why doesn't Sony do a good multiplayer game? And then people will bring this up. Well, third parties really do multiplayer games best. I disagree. I think third parties do single players best, honestly. So you never see people kind of comment back and forth that way. It's always, the PlayStation 4 had shit for exclusives when it launched for the first few years. I mean, they had a couple good hits. And everybody was just like, it's all about the multiplats. We all only care about those.
Right. Remember Sparse? Andrew House said their first party was Sparse.
They're all 1080p. They're all 1080p, right? They're all 1080p. So that's all anybody cared about. And now it's like, Xbox One X is doing shit in like 4K and just under 4K, and nobody cares about 1080p anymore. So,
well, here's the funny thing too, Crap. Remember back a few years ago when a lot of these media sites were reviewing games, they reviewed a lot of the copies on PlayStation 4, and when sort of asked why, they said, well, we usually went with sort of the most powerful platform, and now that the Xbox One X is out, and I think you brought this up the other day, Crap, it seems like all the review copies are still being done on PlayStation.
Yeah,
isn't it weird?
Yeah,
that's really unfortunate, and that shows what a waste. And that was a big thing, okay? Last October, November, when the X was going out to these reviewers, 3,000 units went out or more to all these big YouTubers and the media. And the idea was, hey, we're giving you this box, and they give them all like
20 games,
20 games, 30 games. They had all these games, and they're like, now listen, you'll start to, hopefully the incentive was you'll start to show them on our more powerful box because it streams in 4K and this. No. Every single person, like Far Cry, which I don't know, I haven't even paid attention anymore. I don't know who's Far Cry's marketing deals. It's probably with Sony.
Sony
right?
got it. Yeah.
But everybody, it wouldn't matter anyways. Everybody I follow on YouTube, Crap, right? Rad Brad, let's do this. He's already got his PS4 controller in the picture. We're doing this on PS4. Let's go. Okay, so he's ready to rock and roll on his PS4. And you don't understand. This is all part of the mind games. It's part of that marketing. It's why, right? There's no reason for Coca-Cola and Pepsi to continuously advertise every NFL game. Do you know why? Because that's why you don't buy RC Cola when you go to the grocery store. You buy one of them because they're in your face all the time. Sony's got their controller, their name, the media, always using their product. It's everywhere. It's the mind share. And that's the part that's upsetting. Yeah. And that's why I was a little bit in Crap. That's why there was a big uproar with sending those units out to those YouTubers.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, and I've said this before. I'm not the only one that says it. I'm sure there's plenty of other. And when I say this, like some of this is rumor too. Right. Like Microsoft gave up on this generation in terms of trying to win it a long time ago. That's not saying they're throwing in the towel and not going to play games or anything like that. But, putting out the X and the S, that took a lot of resources, and Phil Spencer, in my opinion, saved Xbox. Whether you like the guy or not,
yeah, he did.
I have a firm belief that Xbox was about to be gone, and Phil managed to, with all the budget cutting and kind of, they had to be cheap for a little bit. And let's be honest, 2017 was a bad year, but If that's what it took to save Xbox, then it is. And maybe people aren't going to be happy with new Xbox where they want to try to put their games on whatever. I mean, Phil's like, hey, let's put Banjo in Smash Brothers, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that's not what everybody wants, but like, if you would rather have no Xbox or this Xbox, I mean, I think I would rather take this Xbox because I just prefer like the ecosystem, the controller, and and that kind of stuff. And I do really enjoy my Gears, my Halo, my Forza, my Sea of Thieves, of course. That's like my new favorite game. So
right,
it's this is the thing though. They're gearing up for the next gen launch because, like I said, and you probably remember me saying this, Mooch. Until you hit that reset button, something called an Xbox One is still an Xbox One to people. People aren't going to just go, let me throw out my PS4 and play an Xbox One X because that's more powerful. No, people have already accrued games and collections and friends. They only hit reset and get rid of that shit when it's a quote unquote next generation.
That's right.
So until they, and rumors are, people are saying 2020 for the next PS4, the PlayStation 5, and the next Xbox, and they're going to launch very close to each other, similar power. So Microsoft should have, what they're doing now is giving themselves an advantage by saying, okay, well, we're going to have Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X games. All this stuff's going to be backwards compatible, even forwards compatible with the X probably for a while. We also have
Game
EA
Pass.
Access. We have Game Pass. We have,
Play
we have
Anywhere.
all this. Yeah, Play Anywhere. We have all this consumer-friendly stuff. Cross-play with this and that. And you know what I mean? Their streaming service, I'm sure, is going to be introduced like that. Doesn't mean a hill of beans to me, but I'm sure some people it might. So they're really, what they're doing right now is setting themselves up for the event, the launch of that. And so I know people are like, well, does that mean they're not going to have any games? No, they're going to announce games, but what it does mean is I would project Fable 4 to be a next gen cross thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
well, let me tell you some crap. The one thing I'd add to that, and I've said this a lot of times, there's two things. There's only going to be, we talked about 180 Ps earlier, that there's only two Ps that matter in next generation. It's going to be price and power. And if what Crap's saying, what I'm hearing also is right, okay, is that the power is going to be very comparable between the two machines. If Microsoft leaves that stage next E3, not this E3, next E3, and they come out and they're not $50 to $100 cheaper than Sony, there's going to be a problem. They have to undercut them because here's the problem. Crap, tell me if I'm wrong. Guys, chime in here. Because everything's going to be backwards and forwards compatible, hear me out. PS4 games, for the most part, Sony has not come out and said it yet, which I think is odd, but they haven't said that they're going to be able to be forward compatible. But you would assume that the PS4 games will play on PS5. If they have that, this could be the most seamless transition into a new generation. But Crap's right. Hitting the reset button is Microsoft's only chance. So when they do hit reset, if all of this is moving forward, all you PS4 owners that are only PS4 owners have all those games and they're all going to play on your PS5, how can Microsoft steal you back? Money, cost.
Yep.
All right. So it's either going to be the dollars are going to be better in your case or your power. Or Microsoft's got to be like, guess what? We're the same price as them, and this time we're more powerful at a reset. Because even though the X is more powerful than the Pro, we are still in this limbo of mid-generation consoles.
Hey, but to be fair, the X is selling better than the Pro, so we got that going for us.
Yeah, and I guess that shows that's got to show. Microsoft loves numbers, right, Crap? Yeah. Microsoft's got to see that their power matters.
Wait till they give us the numbers where they have the spike for the Sea of Thieves monthly active users. That's going to be a good day.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day.
Because that's what they care about. I know a lot of people are like, you see it like, well, I hate Microsoft, but I'm going to definitely try Sea of Thieves when I got my 30-day free trial. They don't give a shit. You're a monthly active user for a month. That's going to go into their reports, and their investors are going to love that, and they're going to get more funding to do more shit. And that's how it works.
Where you get the code from.
Exactly. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. Let's get on to some game talk here because we've done an outstanding job here. I'll start with Salty. Salt, what about you? Now, we talked about this pre-show. Far Cry 5 coming out on Tuesday. I can't wait to jump head first into it. What's your initial take on it? And then I want to get into the co-op action that's now multiplayer.
I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. The setting's awesome. The main villain looks really awesome. apparently a lot of people that have stood next to the guy. He's really intimidating, very good actor, very I don't know, man. There's something about that dude, you know. So,
well, dude, you know what's funny? You said the actor, and I just want to tie this in. Anyone who watches Walking Dead, Trevor from GTA 5, how crazy he was. He's also Simon in Walking Dead, and he is one intimidating son of a bitch. I don't care if you're talking about the actor himself or the dude because of the role he plays. So I know somebody that actually was, shout out to JKB. He went out and met that guy, the actor that you're talking about, Salty. He said he was one intimidating son of a bitch, dude, in person. So you're right, man. It is. I think they're doing a good job, right? Voss was the last time I played, which was Far Cry 3, and I think they're calling this gentleman the father in Far Cry 5, and I think this is going to be great, man. The dynamic here is sick.
Let me tell you this. Listen, again, I'm not a selfless plug. I did a review on the short film that was done for Far Cry 5 that a lot of people don't know about, and it was really good. I mean, and you know what? You get to see this guy up close and personal prior to playing the games. You have a bit of, I mean, like me, I'm excited because I have a connection with the bad guy already. And I see what he's willing to do to get his point across. And man, if you didn't see that movie, go to YouTube, man, and check that out because it was. I mean, it wasn't long. I think it might have been about 31 minutes, half an hour or so. But it was really good, and it really gives you an introduction to who he is and where he stands. I think he's going to be a fantastic villain. We're going to be talking about this guy at the end of the year when we're talking our top 10 for 2018.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are going to fall into the old game of the year thing. Now, I had this conversation with Boom, Salty or Noof, you guys chime in here. Are you guys going to run through Far Cry 5 solo, or now that every mission, I think once you get past the prologue, once you get past that, you can start doing every mission co-op with a friend, which is new. Okay, this is new to Far Cry. In Far Cry 4, you could do a couple missions with a friend. And I think it was only on PlayStation as well. Now you can do the whole game. Are you guys running through this thing solo or with a buddy?
I'll go first, I guess. I think I'm going to run through it solo, honestly, and get that experience because
that's what I was thinking.
I have a lot of different friends. They're on, different hours. Sometimes they don't get on. I don't want to be stuck like, hey, we started the game and I got to wait for, Shameless to get on to finish the game. I want to just run through it when, at my own pace and at my own time. And then I'll run through it with my buddies afterwards and see how different the game becomes. It might be a totally different game for me. So.
What about you, Noof?
We're here for the diddly. I just wanted to say, you guys better run out and pick yourselves up a copy of that Far Cry, because I can tell you that they motion captured some of my relatives in that game. Yes, indeed. You better get on top of that now. Come Tuesday, that's all I'm going to tell you.
That's all right. Yeah, man. I'm more preferential to co-op, and that's a big reason I'm even picking up Far Cry. I'm not the hugest fan of the series. Actually, I dabbled with 3 and 4 and never finished either one. So this one could end up on the old pile of backlog games like everything else I seem to get these days. But I am looking forward to it. It looks like the best Far Cry game in quite some time. I'm quite interested in it, and the graphics look pretty sweet. And again, I think it's going to be good if you have a couple of good co-op buddies to run through. I think it's also, is it 2-player or 4-player?
I think it's 2.
It's 2. It's co-op. Yeah, it's just
okay. So co-op 2. So that's good. I mean, I'd like to go through, but Salty raised the perfect point on why a lot of times co-op falls through. I already seeing that with that new game, A Way Out, where people are already trying to find somebody just to jump on. Now, mind you, there's a less barrier there because you don't need 2 copies of the game. But I mean, just because you got the game doesn't mean you can always find a friend who's going to hop on. That's kind of the problem with Sea of Thieves at times. Sometimes you're going to find, like right now, it's pretty easy to find a list of people playing, but sometimes you can't find anyone at all. So this game will be the same thing. Hopefully, I can find some friends to play it next week. I already have my copy bought and paid for. Big shout out to Biggie on that one. And it's going to be a good game. I can't wait to dive into it. It looks like it's got a lot of variety in the mission structure, and like the whole setting looks kind of neat too.
Right. Well, as someone in the chat, uncompetitive, I don't know what he's saying. He's saying Mooch, the stream has no audio. I don't know if that's just a you problem or what, but hit reset, buddy. If you reset it, it should come through. Salty made a good point. A lot of games that I play with co-op, it ends up ruining my experience because I have to end up either I'm picking on the guys on the panel because their names are here. I'm saying me and Boom will start up. We'll get 2 chapters in. All of a sudden, bang. It's like me and Boom can't make it. He's going away to a wedding for a weekend. I'm sitting here waiting. So then I start up again with Noof. Noof's like, I wouldn't mind playing with you. So then I got to do the whole first 2 chapters over again. It kind of takes you out of the story.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and roll through this one solo myself because I want to experience it. I think there's so much to the story. This thing is going to be sick. And they are going to touch on some sensitive subjects that are, big in social media these days. And I think it's just going to be like, that's something I think you should experience and kind of take it in on your own. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of discussion pieces on this one. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about. And I like how games are coming out at the right time this year. Games are coming out and giving other games time. Like Sea of Thieves, yes, will only be out for a week, but we're going to be playing the shit out of Sea of Thieves up until Tuesday. And then all of a sudden, bang, you get a chance to jump into this and you can always go back to Sea of Thieves because there's no player left behind. What about you, Boom? Are you all in on Far Cry 5?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got the gold edition. I had actually paid for it before Christmas, so it's ready to go. I am.
Let people know though, Boom. What do you get with the gold edition?
Well, you get all the DLC. You're getting the season pass with it. I mean, it's I think it was $90. Is that what I think it was $89.99 plus tax. Mm-hmm. And you're getting the season pass, which is going to be a ton of it from what I understand. And you get all the the typical Ubisoft stuff. You get skins, you get different guns, you get a bow and arrow, pair of sunglasses, whatever.
Right.
But I'm always all in on Ubisoft stuff. They're like one of my favorite companies. But I'm like you. I'm into story, and I think that unfortunately, something like this is going to have, I think if you miss something, you're going to feel like you missed something. So I don't want someone screaming in my ear, go over there, no, they're shooting me. And then you miss something in the story.
Right.
And you're like, I gotta restart this. I'm probably going to play through it and then come back around on a new game plus, and then want to team up with somebody and say, yeah, like what Salty was saying, let's see if this is going to be different with 2 players.
Right. Now, Crap, I know you've said that, yes, you will accept anybody. I like it. You will accept
if somebody
Moochie.
wants to, I will mooch a copy, but I do not have the means or the game pre-ordered or anything like that.
What was the last Far Cry you played or none?
I have, I bought Far Cry, the one like where you're cave people, but I never played it. I played Far Cry 4, but like Noof said, I didn't really finish it. I played Far Cry 3, I liked it, but I didn't really finish it. So
right. Well, and the thing about it that's interesting is a lot of the things that if you happen to like Horizon Zero Dawn, a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn comes from the Far Cry world, if you will. So that's why I think I didn't finish it. Right. Well, and that's what's interesting. The reason I didn't care for Horizon is because I thought they just didn't do as good. They took the premise of Far Cry, but the Far Cry stories have always been better. I loved 3. I did with Crap. I didn't really like the Primal.
I got really far in 3, but it was like you had to do some sneaking stuff, and I had trouble with that. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a little bit of sneaking stuff, and I think that this one here, Crap, is actually different. They said that they're not going to have the bases that they were the way they were in 3. They'll have them, but not quite where you have to sneak up and not set an alarm off, etc. Glitcher, what about you, Glitch? Are you in on getting Far Cry, or this is not even close to hitting your radar?
You know what, man? I'm gonna be honest. I was never really big into Far Cry. Like,
I can understand that from some
people.
I
messed around with 3. I enjoyed it. I got about halfway through. When I saw the trailers for 4, I was like, nope. And then when they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to have you go back to the prehistoric time in Primal, I'm like, yeah, no, that's cool. So definitely, I mean, I'm going to rent it just to give it a shot because I don't want to be that type of hypocritical asshole and be like, screw that game. And did you play it? No. Well, how do you know you don't like it? So
the old don't knock it till you try it. That's one of my favorite. Someone make me a T-shirt with that, please. Clowns, what about you, Clowns? Are you in?
Mooch, I'm kind of iffy on this one. Like, I feel like I just played Wildlands, and I feel like this is going to be a cut and paste of Wildlands.
And interesting you say that because when Boom, I don't remember if Boom answered it or he asked the question. When somebody said, is this 4-player co-op or 2? I'll be really honest with you. If it was 4, it would be a catastrophe.
I agree.
And don't get me wrong. Look, there's a lot of people that love Wildlands. And I'll tell you this much. It's made very, very well. It is made very well. But there's just something with Wildlands for me. It feels loosey-goosey. Like you get in there, and I remember, Noof, I've played with you. And I'm like, hey, Noof, so what do we do? And you're like, whatever you want. And I'm like, when can we do it? When you want. And what should I do first? Whatever you want. And I'm like, well, that's a little too much freedom. You know what I mean? That's like if somebody, you show up to your first day at college and they just start handing you all the books. And they're like, pick what you want. No curriculum? No, go wherever you want. They're all teaching something.
Exactly.
And it's like, some people like that. For me, it's chaos.
Yeah. That's generally the reason when when you go to the strip club, they generally send out one girl at a time because if they're all out there, you wouldn't know what to look at.
No,
it's much. I mean, I find a lot of those games for me, anything that has any sort of open world premise to it, I get sidetracked so easy. Like those are the one type of game that end up in my backlog more often than not, just because there's so much going on, so many side missions, so much stuff that either matters or doesn't matter to your progression that I just get like sidetracked and lost. And then I don't, like I'm more prone to going out and finishing a Call of Duty game because I know it's going to be 10 or 15 hours long and it's going to go, level to level to level to level till you're done. You know what I mean? I like stuff that keeps you on track than all this stuff that has your fucking head in circles.
Not that this is a surprise to anybody in the panel or even the audience. You guys know me well enough now. It's been 4 years. I do like structure. I like I don't need guidelines where it's just every game is linear. You can have open world to a certain degree where it spreads out. And you go, okay, in this area you can kind of venture out. But like Wildlands where it was like, what are we doing? Anything. When are we doing? Anytime. And they're like, what? Holy shit. What? I don't want to be the developer. I want the developer to kind of steer me a little. But I mean, that's why I am so excited about Far Cry. I think Far Cry gives you an open canvas. But if you go where you're not supposed to, you get slapped on the wrist. You're like, all right, I'll go back over here. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's okay. I think it's okay to have, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. The reason we all like roller coasters, it follows a track, but it still has its ups and downs.
Mooch, go ahead, Clowns. What I want to say is my big fear about this game is that it's going to be like, hey, take out this tower. Hey, go to this clubhouse, take them out. Hey, go to the next clubhouse, take them out. Hey, the next clubhouse, then you take over the whole area. Like that, like something like that.
Yes, I mean that's the reason that I mean you're saying you do like that, Clowns, or you don't?
No, I don't like that. Like I'm actually tired of that. I love open world games. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just tired of that format of them.
No, I mean I understand. And like I said, there's really no wrong answer here. I was just kind of amazed at that whole thing. Well, let's convert this over, okay? Because in a month from now, we're talking about God of War coming out. God of War, right? What? What's up, Crap?
That wasn't me.
That was me.
I'm sorry. I thought that was Crap. I was like,
No.
I have the screen blocked.
I cannot. Let me tell you something. You know what? Like I said, I gladly support all the consoles.
Oh, here we go. Everybody take. Boom. Before you finish this sentence, I'd like the audience to please either get in between your doorways at home or under a safe desk. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. I have a video that's coming out. Right, I'm recording probably over the weekend. It's gonna be out for Monday. I've been working on the script for a week since that footage dropped last Friday, right before CrossFire, as a matter of fact, where that 9 minutes dropped. And I already have God of War pegged as my game of the year. And
there it is, folks.
Okay, I am telling you right now.
That was Crap.
You and every Sony fan.
No. But here's the thing. I like single player games. I really love the direction that they're taking Kratos. They're taking the story. I like the camera angle. I like that.
What about how? Listen, this is what Clowns was just saying. Boom! I got to interrupt you. Okay, Clowns made a good point. Clowns likes it really wide open. I'm in the middle. This God of War, I'm excited for it too because it is what it is, and I prefer the way that they're taking it now to that crazy camera angle we saw the first 3 games. So I'm excited to try. This is actually the first God of War I'm probably going to really like. But you can't get more linear than this game, right?
Well, you know
it's
what?
On a rope.
Well, here's the thing. You see, this is where that may not be so as a correct statement, and here's the reason why. Mm-hmm. If you saw, there was a lot of controversy a couple of weeks ago where it was some information leaked where it's not going to be as straightforward as you think, where you could logistically miss bosses. There are going to be areas where you're going to have, kind of like Bloodborne, that you're going to have to go out of your way to find. So it's not going to be a kind of like so much of a cookie cutter, go to A, go to B, kill the boss C, move on to the next cutscene. There's going to be I'm not going to say it's like Horizon Zero Dawn because that's really wide open, but I think there's going to be areas where, again, like Bloodborne, you can make your own adventure. You can go straight through the story and be, go to A, go to B, go to C.
Yeah, Bloodborne, a little bit of a different animal because Bloodborne, like I haven't played Bloodborne yet, but I've played Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 3 is very similar, right? So it's not linear. You can kind of go take on one boss. There's no order of bosses. You could take them on as you want. But let me tell you something. You make a mistake and go to a certain boss in Bloodborne or Dark Souls, you get slapped right, and you don't get slapped in the hand, you get punched in the mouth. So it's a little bit different there. I mean, what do you guys think about that with the whole – no one's talking about that. This God of War, as much as the footage looked great, and the reason I actually got a little bit more excited about it than I normally would is I just watched the new Thor movie, okay, about 4 days before the God of War trailer came out. And that Thor, every 5 seconds he's reaching for his hammer to come back. When I saw that axe come back, I said, oh, shit, that's a cool mechanic I haven't seen in the game yet. That's got me a little bit, I'm a little hyped for that, a little amped. So that was cool. But, with all these games, you got Sea of Thieves, which is totally not holding your hand. You can go anywhere in the world you could imagine on that thing. Then you've got these games that we just talked about. And State of Decay is going to be all over the place. This is a very, very linear game. I think God of War may even be more linear than Uncharted for once.
It might be. It's possible. But I am going to say this, though. You're going to get your money's worth because they're saying the campaign is 30 hours. And I think that's fantastic.
I heard 20 to 25, but it could very easily translate into that with...
I would have been fine if it was 10. I don't care. It's God of War.
Yeah. Right. Well, there you go, Noof. I'm with you. I like that. I mean, people are amped for it. Salty, is this something that makes you kind of want to, maybe on the way home in a couple of weeks, stop, pull over to a Best Buy and pick up a PS4 or not really?
Well, like I said, the game footage was very exciting. The Norse mythology, I'm all about that. The mechanic, like you were talking about with the Thor hammer, it looks exactly like that. You can't tell me that they didn't get the inspiration from Thor.
Absolutely,
yeah. He throws his axe out, and then he's calling it back.
It's pretty cool, man. It's badass.
Well, he threw out his swords in the old game too, except they were attached to chains on his wrists.
Right.
So it seemed pretty cool. Only now it's the X. I don't know what causes it to fly. Like there's an explanation of how the character has changed and why he's in this setting, and I'm sure we'll see that as the game progresses. But it's fantastic combo. I mean, the combat looking system, and you've heard some people too, like, hey, compare it to Rise of War or whatever, and you know what? That's a compliment. I take it as a compliment. You should call the game as compared to Rise because I loved Rise.
Absolutely,
and I love the combat system. If you're going to compare it to that, some people might be insulted. I take it as a compliment. Like that's a good game.
I would say it's totally a compliment. The one thing that I noticed too, there was a little bit of footage released this week. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but it was the seamless interaction between cutscene and the game.
Yes. Yep.
That's something that I'm really going to be watching. And I know that Sony started to try and do that a little bit with The Last of Us, but they didn't quite nail it. They tried to do it a little bit more with Uncharted 4, and I don't think they quite nailed it. And I think this guy who's taking care of it, pardon me for not remembering his name that was in the video, but he's the director. If he's able to nail a seamless transition between going from the story to where I start to take over, boy, that is a next step in gaming because it takes you out of that, let me put my controller down, here comes a cutscene. I think if we can evolve from that, that is a big deal. And with a story as good as this one, I think that's encouraging. Did you guys get a chance to catch that video?
Yeah, I tweeted it, man. I watched it twice. I thought that the way that they were explaining how he put it together like that was again.
Boom, not to interrupt you, but thank you to Pudgy Potato in there. He says Corey Balrog is the gentleman's name. Thank you for that shout out.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think that if you watch the video, I mean, again, if you just want to play the game and you can care less how it was made, then it's probably not for you. But I like looking behind the curtain a little bit every now and again, especially in the big games. Yes. So when I saw that video, I watched it once and I wound up rewatching it again, and I'm like, wow, they got something here. I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, they really do. What do you? Who else there? Clowns? Are you Clowns? I know you do have a PS4. Are you planning to pick up God of War?
Absolutely not. You know what? I can't get into it. I didn't like the previous ones at all. I couldn't stand them.
The first three didn't. I have them all. I'm with you, Clowns. And listen, it's not that I didn't like them, but it was just 1989 Castlevania with a wacky camera angle. It didn't do it for me.
terrible, man. And you know, I don't want people to think I'm a PS4 hater because I got tons of PS4 stuff and games. It's just,
listen, I'm telling you right now, this God of War's got me hyped. I'm amped. I can't wait. I've already got it pre-ordered. Like that's crazy. And I didn't even mooch this one. Like I'm actually getting it.
I have the collector's edition right along with Crap because I know he has it also.
Yeah, Crap, you're amped for this too, Crap. But what do you think? I mean, is this a God of War?
I think it looks good. I think it looks good. There's some things that I'm still wary about with it, but I mean, I'm excited to give it a chance and play through it for sure.
What's got you worried about it? The linear part of it, or
not the linear part, just the no jumping part. God of War was really had some puzzle platforming elements.
Yeah,
you know, like supposedly this.
Why did they get rid of that?
You know, like I don't know, like so there's no cutscenes or anything, right? And so to save loading, a lot of that I guess is going to happen while you're out on a boat. So I mean, apparently, yeah, a lot of the going from one place to the other, just you're on a boat for what they say 10, 15, 20% of the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited for it. You know, there's at least a couple times a year where you break out the old PS4 to play an exclusive on there. So I mean, this is one that I'm looking forward to, and I do have the collector's edition pre-ordered.
That boat thing, that's just to keep the Sea of Thieves crowd happy.
Oh, hey. These are the times I miss those Google.
Also, I'm a big checkerboarding rendering fan, so you know I'm really excited about that as well.
I'm a checkerboard. That's great. Glitcher, how about you? Glitcher, are you a PS4?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to getting this game. At first, I was a little upset because I was like, man, I don't want to be babysitting. I mean, but then when you saw some more of the video of him and his kid actually running around where he actually picks up his kid and he throws his kid and he drop kicks a monster and he's throwing the axe and shit, I was like, dude, okay, you're pretty badass. So
right.
I'm pretty stoked for God of War 4. I mean, I wish I could get the controller that comes with the Pro because that Pro looks god awful.
The controller is nice though.
The controller looks so sweet, man.
Hopefully they'll sell that separately because they do that every now and again.
Oh, I would love
controller?
To get that.
Oh, you're talking about the controller that's in the bundle, but you don't want the nobody wants
I don't
the
want
console.
That.
No.
I mean that thing looks horrible.
No, I think it comes in an Easter basket if you're good this past weekend. It'll come up,
I mean, dude, the axe handle looks like a Comcast controller. So
I'm with you on that.
I'm stoked for the game. I can't wait for it.
No, I think we're all on board with that. To be honest with you, that's not bad. Let's talk about something that's really, really, really close to all of us. I don't know how many. I'm actually going to grab it tonight, unless I get pinged by someone to play some Sea of Thieves. If some friends are doing that, I'll always go multiplayer over it. But I am picking up A Way Out. The reviews are hot. Things are just. Everything seems to be falling in the right place for our buddy Joseph Fares.
Half the Oscars, love it.
The Oscars, everybody. So, what do you guys think? Who else is getting this? And if anybody else has a free code, it's Mooch at Xbox Live.
Well, listen, if I happen to be on, you can play that with 2 players with 1 person owning the game. So I own the game. I literally bought the game after the Oscars speech. I thought, listen, if this guy is this crazy and he's that positive about his game, I'm going to give him my $40, and I certainly did. Right. And I saw Rand talking about it. He loved it. He gave it a good review. Go check out his channel. He gave it a good review. I listened to it. Everything he said was great. I mean, again, there are some. It's not a 10, but he gave it an 8.5, and I cannot wait to play this game. It looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and now you said $40. I thought somebody last night, crap, when we were streaming, somebody had said $30.
Somebody said 30. Yeah,
is it 40?
40 might be a little too rich for my blood.
Uh-oh.
I
somebody wants to gift it though. MOH Space Crap Gamer.
There you go, folks.
I could have sworn it was $40. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was $40.
Has anyone else here bought it yet? Salty, Noof, anybody? Clowns, you guys A Way Out? You guys interested?
I'm living that Sea of Thieves life. Come on.
No, but I'm looking it up. It's $29.99 and $26 with EA.
All right, $30.
If you're EA Access, it's a little bit cheaper too. So
it's cheaper, and actually, isn't there a trial? You can actually play the game on EA Access. Someone wrote me that today.
Yeah, I saw there was a trial up there when I was looking.
Of course,
at it
EA
earlier.
Access, the gift that keeps giving.
It's the gift, the gift that just keeps on giving, Clark. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all in. I got a buddy of mine that works with me. He's the definition of a casual gamer, man. I mean, he plays Call of Duty, plays Madden. That's it. And I told him about this, and he was like, "That's actually pretty cool." And then when I told him that if I got it, he could play, he thought that was even cooler. So he was like, "Yeah, he doesn't care about achievements, or anything like that." So because I did a little homework for you folks out there. You probably already know this. If your friend is the person who's sharing the game, aka mooching, I like how there's a lot of nice words out there for mooching. But if you're sharing the game with your friends, the person sharing does not get the achievements. The person sharing will get prompted to down. They're gonna have to download the game of some sort. So they'll do that, and then you can play the game together. I've heard it's anywhere from 5 to 8 or 6 to 10 hours, depending on the collectibles and some of the side quests and things like that, depending on what you want to do or the interactions with people. I haven't touched it yet because I heard since it's only a 5 to 8 hour game, if you go and watch an hour of it on a stream, I mean, you're talking major spoilers. You could lose 20%.
I would definitely do that. I would play it.
Right. First. So what do you guys think? Glitch, are you in on this?
I'm definitely going to check it out. I mean, right now I'm jamming away on Sea of Thieves, so if anybody wants to hook it up, Attack Glitcher, just throwing that out there.
Wow, we're changing the name. Fridays at 7 will now be known as the Mooching Podcast. Everyone that comes on.
I have yet to get anything. I just want people to understand that.
You can honestly, as much as I always like to recruit new moochers, but the problem is
I do buy everything.
You already have the I buy everything logo all over the front of your house.
You know what it is? My poor wife, she goes crazy during the holidays because she's like, I don't know what to get you because you own everything. It's just my way.
Don't say your poor wife. She knows that you buy all those games. She probably has the largest closet of female shoes ever. Okay, she's like, you're buying all those games. I'll get what I want. Damn it. I'm
gonna try and pick it up. I'm gonna try and score it soon.
Yeah, $30 is good. Even a mooch will tell you that's not a bad price, guys.
Oh hell no, man! And and if somebody else is jamming it and I could jump on with them, that's even cooler. Like I don't care about the achievements as long as I get to jam the game. That's all I care about.
That's really what it comes down to. I'm with you on that one. Salty, what about you? You in on this a way out? This game just the little bit that me and you've gotten a chance to hang out. This game looks like it's right up your alley.
Man, I'd love to tell you that it is, but.
Not really, huh?
A way out could stay out for me.
He's the one to do with it. Now, what is it? What has kind of turned you off to it? I'm interested.
I don't know, man. I saw the E3 footage and stuff. It didn't click with me. The whole, I don't know. It is a cool functionality that you can.
Did you play Brothers, Salty?
Brothers? No, I didn't.
Tale of Two Brothers or whatever. I own that. I bought that.
I enjoyed that actually.
It's the same developers, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the whole idea here, Salty, is before it was a single player, I believe, and your left thumbstick was one of the brothers, the right thumbstick was the other, and you had to do these puzzles. And man, that was, I mean, you want to talk about like really getting used to using your thumbs in a certain way. That was crazy. Now they said, hey, instead of making it, one analog stick and the other, so me and you, Salty, were playing. I can't, I'm paraphrasing here, folks. I really haven't looked too much into it because I didn't want to spoil it. But to solve a puzzle or to get past a certain area, like if I'm on the motorcycle, Salty, you got to be on the back shooting the people coming after us. If I'm doing something on one side that's a puzzle, you need to do the other simultaneously or the door doesn't go up. So there's a lot of like this. I think it brings the co-op, the couch co-op. That's what I can't wait to do, actually. I'm actually going to bring this back to the 80s here, folks. I'm bringing this game back to the couch, not like a couch like way out in a distant land. So I think that's kind of neat. And if you have a better half, Salty, or a brother or sister, someone that likes gaming or the kids, going to be a cool couch co-op game. I think it's got that rustic escape from jail kind of rough, tough, two dudes down the wrong path going the right way kind of attitude. Kind of a neat thing. And, it's got the F the Oscars guy, too. So
I'm not sure whether you guys know or not, but the game is split screen regardless of whether you're sitting on the couch or playing online.
I did not know that. Boom, tell us more.
Yes. See, I like that. I like that.
Basically, the perspective that you're getting, because that when you're playing like a game on the couch, it's split, right? So you have your screen and the other one, a person has their screen. This game is like that from start to finish because they want you to see what the other player is doing at the same time controlling your character so you could be in sync.
Okay.
That's so it's definitely a different take on the the split screen, but I cannot wait to really play this game.
So wait a minute. So if I'm playing, boom, me and you, we end up playing co-op. Okay. Right. So my screen's split, and what you're doing is showing up on my screen on the right.
That is correct. Yes.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah, something different, man. Something really. I think this is this game. I mean, listen, the guy seems like very personable developer, very open, obviously, and that's always very nice. But I think
why I knew this game was going to be good is when I watched his little promo from the other day. Did you see him when he came out there? He's like, it's this amount of money. You could play with your friend. He takes the cartridges, or not the cartridge, the actual container with the disc in it, throws it over his shoulder. He's like, your friend doesn't even need to buy it. He just needs to play it with you. That's how we're doing it. Like the cockiness and the arrogance was, I like that. When someone does that, that tells me you got a hell of a product.
You're confident. You're confident in your stuff.
Shoulders are back. You're looking at the camera and you're like, go play my game now. This thing is kick-ass. Then you see some of these other indie guys that are out there. I understand it's not indie because it's backed by EA. I understand that. But still, the game could still suck, right? Like the guy who made Ravel or Unravel.
Yes.
That was EA too. You didn't see him. He was like, it's a little bit of yarn. Check it out. You know, maybe you like it, maybe you won't. This guy's like, go buy it. And you know what? Tell your friend he doesn't have to.
I heard that guy's working for Microsoft now.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Imagine what that guy could do with a huge team and a big budget. So, hey, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's so shady. Yeah, no, they don't. You're right. Well, that's true, Noob.
You know, it's what made Cliff Bleszinski good, because he was confident in his product. Mind you, he kind of took it a little bit step too far and got a little over cocky in it, so it doesn't go good if it goes the other way. But you do need a little bit of swagger, you know, whether you're a developer or not. You got to be confident what you put out there. And I mean, a great price point, great, like I said, up and coming developer, might be a step in the right direction. I'm interested. It's not an expensive game, but right now, like I said, with Far Cry 5 just around the corner and God of War, like, I don't know, like I might pick it up eventually, and if somebody has a game and wants a co-op partner, I'll be glad to go and pound through it with you. But right now, I just got to check it out a little bit more and see how the finances go.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I don't see a miraculous gift appear, I'm definitely going to pick it up tonight, because first of all, listen, this is one of those games, especially in the world we're all in, doing YouTube and talking on Twitter and everybody being very social, very talkative. This is a game that's got a couple of weekends. You know, like nobody's going to pick it up in 2 months and be like, hey, have you played A Way Out? Like Salty said, he's going to be like, oh, Way where? What? I'm not doing that now. So I think this is one of those, like, and that's why if it was $60, you wouldn't really hear me like honing it in. But for $30, if you're on the fence, talk to a buddy of yours, have him PayPal you $15, split it, and just make sure the guy who's not actually buying it doesn't care about achievements. Because like So Shady was saying in the chat, and we mentioned earlier, if you are the one playing it for free, you don't get the achievements. So just keep that in mind. Right, Crap's out. Okay, Crap's he's either buying it or he's out. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Crap. I'm kind of with you on that whole thing. I would prefer to be the buyee. But with that being said, guys, we're at 2 hours just about on Crossfire. This was a fantastic show. You know, there's weeks where you kind of look at the clock and you're like, oh, wow, I got to get a couple more subjects in here. This is one where 2 hours just flew by, and everybody on the panel can't wait to get back to Sea of Thieves, A Way Out, or another game they're playing. It's Friday night with their better half. So let's go down. I'll go in reverse order here. So I think I've got this right here. Let me start with Salty. Salty, thank you for coming on the show, man. I reached out to you last minute. You came on. It definitely won't be your last time, as I told you the last time you were on here. Love your opinions. Love your channel. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Saltiest Gaming, 2 words. I did that Sea of Thieves montage, or the longest review.
The longest review of all time. It's great.
8 minutes long, so check that out. You can find me on Twitter, Saltiest Gaming. The I is a 1. Thanks for having me on. It was a blast.
Always salty. And I would change that from review to documentary. I think it was listen, I watched it this morning. I thought you did a hell of a job on it. Nice editing, too.
Thanks,
yeah, it was very smooth. My next guest here, Attack the Glitcher. Just so you guys know, Glitcher has shows on Monday nights. Recently ended it. I have a feeling, listen, a lot of times with podcasts, they go away, but they don't go into the sunset. They all come back. They all float. Glitcher, thanks for coming on the show.
No problem.
I'd like to have you bring at least let the audience know that it's a possibility the show could come back.
There's some stuff in the works.
Nice.
So there's that. There's definitely things in the works. So like I said, I'll just leave it at that. So, but
no problem,
I will be throwing up content on the channel and all that stuff. So if you're not subscribed to Attack the Glitcher, make sure you guys do that to see the content going up. I'm going to be putting a lot more stuff up there now. I was running the podcast off of there. It's recently ended, but like I said, there's some more stuff coming up, so make sure you're subbed and a part of, so you know when that's going to happen. And you can find me on Twitter at AttackGlitcher. And Mooch, guys, thanks for having me on tonight. I know it's been a while. We were trying to get me on here, and it happened. And oh yeah, it was a hell of a time.
Nice, Glitcher. Really good to have you on. I appreciate it. And your support is through the roof. I mean, you're always there promoting the show. So thank you. I can't thank you.
No problem.
And a brother of mine here. He's a guest, but he's always around. My buddy Noof Nukem. Thanks for being here tonight, brother.
Before Noof signs off, I just wanted to let you know this is Captain Twat Spotter, and she be knocked down tighter. Okay. See me on Sea of Thieves. I'll be sailing away, and I'll place you in the brig.
Perfect, Noof.
Anyway, guys, yeah, I probably will play some Sea of Thieves over the weekend. I'm really enjoying it despite all of the negativity that's going around. I'm having a blast. And at the end of the day, that's all any video game really tries to promise anyone is to have fun. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just have fun with it. And I am having fun with it. Hopefully, I'll get to play with some of you compadres here at some point in time. I'd love to set sail again with you, Mooch and Crap, and everybody that's on the panel. So hook me up. You see me online, just send me a message. Outside of that, same old shit, different pile, man. Go check out my latest video about Sea of Thieves. I think I did a pretty good job kind of summing up my feelings on it overall. And it's not 18 minutes. It's only like 4.5. But no, everything's good, guys. Thanks so much, Mooch, for having me on CrossFire. Pretty excited when I saw the invitation again today. So appreciate it. It's always great to be here. And to everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome. Even some of the troll heads. We love you guys. Take care.
Nice, Noof. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Senora Bombastic, who released 3 or 4 videos in the past 30 minutes. Boom. Where can people find you, buddy?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. Obviously, that's a good place to reach out to me because I'm on it all day long. And that's at Mr. Boomstick XL. Also, check out my channel. I don't do as much content as Crap. I mean, how he does it is absolutely inhuman. But I put out 4 to 5 videos. Monday's going to be a big one. It's very controversial. It goes into very specific detail why I'm picking God of War as my game of the year. And that's going to be up for everyone to check out. Hopefully, I get a lot of thumbs up on that one because I worked real hard on it. But like I said, it was a great show. The opinions of everyone was what I was hoping to get when we get together, and that was everyone had logic and thoughtfulness to their comments. No one was going too far to the left or too far to the right. Everyone was fair with their critique of Sea of Thieves.
Very true. And I can't wait to watch your Monday video because that's like you saying the tuna casserole you have on the 4th of July barbecue is the best one you're going to have all year, and we're not even there yet. Listen, I can't wait to hear it. I'm sure the audience can't wait. I've got my buddy Clowns, my paisan down south. Paisan, where can they find you, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? Every Thursday night, 7 or 7:30 p.m., 4 Guys with Quarters. And Mooch, last night we had a special stream with Karina from the official Xbox Reddit.
Yes.
From the official Party Chat podcast. We did Sea of Thieves for 3.5 hours.
I saw that. And then this morning, I'm like, oh, let me check out on my 4 Guys. I go to click on 4 Guys, and I'm like, 3 hours? I'm like, what did you give Inferno a B12 shot? How the hell did you guys go that long? That's crazy.
We uncovered some secrets in the game due to viewers in our chat.
Nice.
And some knowledge was dropped on us.
Very cool. Very cool. Check that out, guys. 4 Guys is always good. And my partner in crime, the one and only Captain Crap Gamer. Crap, thanks for being here.
Starvy dogs. Captain Crap here. Arr, go play Sea of Thieves. Arr. Yeah. Always good.
Captain Crap.
Nice.
Captain Crap. That's me.
It's great.
Yeah, always good to kind of come in and do the show and have a good time with you guys. So I'm very appreciative of everything and the support and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for everything. Really have a good time being here. Thank you guys so much. And we'll catch you guys Sunday on M&C Mornings.
Yes. I can't wait. It's going to be a heck of a week. This is gaming weekend, guys. Go out there and enjoy it. Definitely check out Sea of Thieves. If you don't have it yet, it's Game Pass. It's $9.99. You can join in the conversation. A way out also tonight. It's a big gaming weekend. Guys, go out there, enjoy yourself. We'll see you next Friday, 7 p.m. Peace out.
Oh, yeah.
Later, everyone.